Hello and welcome to the Soul Garden. My name's Georgina Langdale and it's really lovely to have you here with me today. It's been a couple of months since the last episode I put up on the Soul Garden, and that's because I've been away. I went back home to the UK and I went to Germany, and it was my first visit home for 10 years. It was very lovely to see friends and family and landscapes and places that I love. Very, very special. I also loved connecting back in with old colleagues of mine from the work I did at Kew Gardens and on an ecological and economic study called TEEB. And so talking to them and then returning to New Zealand, where here in Hawke's Bay we are still reeling from the effects of the damage of tropical cyclone Gabrielle that hit us earlier this year, and even in the few weeks since I've been back home here in New Zealand, I mean, just the news is just full of cyclones and flooding and fires, and my heart just goes out to every single person, creature, animal, landscape, tree, everything affected by all of this unprecedented weather events that we're having. And anyway, it was all going around in my head, and I downloaded some software and I made this song. It's called These Are the Names of the Storms, and this is this week's episode. I pass you over to the song I've created now. Talk to you next time. These are the names of the storms. Over 10 years ago, I was working on a global environmental, ecological and economic project. And we saw just so much data coming over our desks. It was like a tsunami of doom, habitat loss, biodiversity loss, ecosystem degradation, just all of these consequences of our take way of being in this world. Seeing that information day after day after day, you get a sense of the enormity of the problem, and you can see solutions. And we talked about tipping points. We saw things like accelerating extinction rates, coral bleaching, deforestation. We talked about migration due to environmental change, but even so, I don't think we could comprehend the way things are unfolding now. These storms, these fires, but now, gosh, you know, I look at it and I see these tipping points all around us, and I move between despair and hope, and I hope that now we will work together to create more change. These are difficult times. There is so much trauma. We need so much change. Myself have experienced trauma as well from the devastation of a tropical cyclone where I live, and how that ripples through a community, not just for days but for months and months and months, and probably years. And I look at the news and I see fires and floods and famine, and I wonder, who's going to be next? And so we need ways of coping with this, and one of the ways of coping with it is actually to start dealing to it. And dealing to it means we have to change our behaviors. We have to reset our relationship with the natural world. We have to understand that this is a system, natural systems. We can't change them. We might, divert some water here and there, but in the end, when things get out of balance, nature will try and seek balance. This isn't about a war or a battle. It's about balance. We are out of balance. We need to reset, regenerate, restore, reimagine this world. These are the names of the storms. And I don't think it's right that we say, we'll let the children sort it out. It's going to be their problem to live with. This is all of our problem. We all created it, and I just think we can all be part of the behavioral change, the political change, the economic change to try and get things back in balance. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I don't think any of us want to leave a legacy that is this world spiraling out of balance. Imagine leaving a legacy that says, I did all I could to help do my part so we can bring things back in balance. Imagine that. Imagine being the change we need in this world right now. How do we find resilience? How do we find reconnection and inspiration? We just start. These are the names of the storms. We start in this moment now, and we create the change we need.